Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. So just a quick update for you guys. The Washington Commanders are releasing running back J.D. McKissic. They also tendered safety Jeremey Reaves, and also they parted ways with offensive line coach John Matsko. So we'll talk about all three of those things. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content on the road to 11,000 subscribers. It takes 1 second. It's free. Please go ahead and do it. You will not regret it. And then also hit that like button and that notification bell. Okay, so let's start off with J.D. McKissic. This news sucks. He was really, really good for the Commanders for his first couple years here as a receiving back. I would say top 3 receiving back in the league, especially those years when, McCaffrey wasn't really healthy. He was one of those top guys. He was really, really good, especially in, the 2020 year with Alex Smith. Just did a really good job, and yeah, props to him. The last couple years with neck injuries, it's just really, really unfortunate because, like Kime says, not about the talent / production. The neck injuries over the last 2 years really hurt him. He had one, I believe it was against Seattle, his former team, in 2021, has that, and is out for the rest of the year, put on IR, and first signs with the Bills, then backtracks and goes to the Commanders, and signs a 2-year deal. Isn't quite the same. Still solid, but not quite the same. And then I can't remember when, but they put him on IR out for the year. So this was expected. I was expecting either a release or an injury settlement. Maybe an injury settlement will still come out. This move saves him about $1.23 million in cap space. I don't really think it creates a huge hole because Brian Robinson can, pass catch a little bit. Gibson definitely can, and you can add someone if you really want to. You definitely can add someone. Maybe it's Austin Eckler. I don't know if it makes too much sense, but they could go ahead and do that. I don't think the draft compensation is going to be a lot. It's more about, it's more going to be how much does Washington want to pay a, older running back. That's what they're going to have to think about. And maybe I'll make a separate video on that, on my, situation, or on my take on that situation. But they could go after a draft, someone in the draft. Could be Bijan Robinson. I would rather not, but they could go after someone later in the draft, or get someone like Jerick McKinnon, who knows the system and is a very good pass catching back. Like this past season with the Chiefs, his stats were very, very similar to what J.D. McKissic had in his prime here. So just kind of thoughts on a replacement for J.D. McKissic. And again, hope nothing but the best for J.D. McKissic. Happy he didn't get a ton of money here, but he had 3 years here, got a solid check, solid amount of money. Maybe he'll play again. I hope he retires just for his sake. The neck injuries is no joke. You don't want to be living with that for the rest of his life, but obviously his choice. But wish nothing but the best for him. He was really good for the Commanders, and yeah, him and Heineke both gone today. It sucks a little bit, but it is what it is, and wishing again nothing but the best for McKissic and for Taylor Heineke as well. And then now we have some news on Jeremey Reaves. They use an original round right of first refusal tender on Jeremey Reaves, worth about $2.63 million. He can still sign an offer sheet elsewhere, but Washington has the right to match and keep him. So if someone else offers him a contract, they have the right to match that. If they decline to match another offer, Reaves can leave and the team wouldn't get any draft compensation. And I guess they still probably would be able to work on a long-term extension, but this is just a guarantee that they'll be able to keep him here. $2.6 million, that's fine. I mean, I assume that money's fully guaranteed. I would rather sign him to like a 2-year, $5 million deal, something like that, where you can give him a little bit of a signing bonus and lower that cap number a little bit instead of keeping it at 2.6. So maybe something like a 2-year, $5.5 million deal, something like that, maybe even $6 million, and you're able to spread that cap around a little bit instead of having it fully guaranteed. But they still have the opportunity to do it, and I would bring it back. He's a good culture guy. Really worked hard over the last few years to make the roster, and this past year make an all-pro team at special teams, and he made all the all-pro, lists, the Pro Bowl as well, Pro Bowl starter. So he deserves to get not paid big time, but get a decent amount of money, and hopefully that's with us, and hopefully it's over a couple years. Maybe someone offers him, but I think they know that we're going to match that deal. So I think it's pretty close to certain not JD McKissic, that Jeremey Reaves will be here this season for the Washington Commanders. And he also can play, he's an okay depth piece at safety as well. You don't want him to play a ton, but if he needs to come in, sometimes he can provide a spark as well. The last news is Washington offensive line coach John Matsko is out. Team moving in a different direction per multiple sources. Matsko was informed today of the move, so a little bit, not shocking, but a little bit surprising, I guess. Was not expecting this because they kind of finalized their staff, last week? I believe around last week, late last week or middle of last week is when they got the, Bobby Ingram, and they finalized the, coaching staff. And for them to kind of, after that, a week after, 5 days after, be like, okay, now Matsko's out, that's a little interesting. Maybe he wants to be gone, but the way that it's phrased is that it looks like the team is moving in a different direction. That's what Keim says, and kind of what the other reports say. So looks like we kind of moved on, or the Commanders moved on from him, and could be a difference of opinion. Like maybe Matsko didn't really like the signings they made on the offensive line and didn't really see the fit there. Again, I really have no idea, just throwing ideas out. Or maybe there's a disagreement. I don't know. But, Rivera moving on from a former Carolina coach, that is, unheard of from him. Maybe Eric Bieniemy is, changing how Rivera thinks a little bit, and we'll see who he brings in. Will definitely be interesting to see how long it takes, and I doubt we'll really fully get the full reason why it's happened, why John Matsko is leaving, but maybe we will, maybe we don't. But he really was good, especially for his first 2 years here. This past season, the offensive line regressed big time, and he got some of his guys in Andrew Norwell and Trey Turner, and he couldn't make it work. So that's partly on him and partly on Rivera for, making some lateral moves in terms of the offensive line. But the lateral moves were probably something Matsko advocated for because those were his guys in Trey Turner and Andrew Norwell. So that's kind of my take on the offensive line situation. And just got a notification that the Cowboys are trading for 5-time Pro Bowler Stephon Gilmore. Don't like that. I mean, Stephon Gilmore is not Defensive Player of the Year Stephon Gilmore. He's not as good as he was then, but he's still a really good corner. And, that's an added bonus for the Cowboys. Interested to see how much they gave up for him, because if they didn't give much, I would have done it. I would have given up a fourth, or maybe even definitely a fifth, fourth round pick, maybe even a third for Stephon Gilmore. I don't think his contract is outrageous. But, that is it for today's video. Again, we'll keep you guys updated with any news that comes out with the Washington Commanders, any signings they make, and maybe some rumors as well. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Really appreciate all you guys' support. Peace, guys.